What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including: did Shinsuke Nakamura call out CM Punk? A big spoiler after Raw went off the air? Did WWE just erase Nikki Bella? The Rock still wants to run for US President, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new website, Wrestlelamia.com. Now, as always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, Drew McIntyre turns heel. Why Drew, why? Well, normally that's the question when a babyface turns heel, but in Drew's case, the WWE has given the fans plenty of reasons for why McIntyre decided to look out for number 1. Over the last year, he's seen his chances at being undisputed championship go up in smoke thanks to the bloodline. He's seen that looking out for others hasn't even helped him in the slightest, and even seen a former enemy embraced with open arms by the people said enemy hurt so many times. Is it any wonder that Drew decided to throw in with the heels? The only unanswered question is what the Judgment Day are going to do for Drew McIntyre now that he's paid them a solid. The turn has been handled superbly, as it didn't come out of nowhere and there's no gaping plot holes to ignore. Number 2, good build-up for Rhea vs Zoe. Is Zoe Stark going to defeat Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship? Well, short of some hotshot booking, it just isn't happening, as the WWE seems to want to keep the title on the Eradicator until at least WrestleMania 40. Nonetheless, you've got to give the WWE credit for doing its absolute best to depict Zoe as a wild card, and an opponent such as Rhea Ripley isn't underestimating. Ripley put Stark over as a future world champion before telling her that her championship aspirations are meaningless as long as Stark is on Raw. And we have a feeling that Stark is going to give Ripley a bit of a challenge at Survivor Series, a challenge that should elevate Stark in the fans' eyes. Number 3, JD joins the JD. Now, the WWE finally put the last touches on the JD McDonough entry into the Judgment Day, a rumored move that's been going around for months, but one that the WWE has kept fans guessing about, as McDonough's efforts get into the group haven't endeared him to everyone and at times hurt the Judgment Day more than helped them. He should be a good addition, and while there's no set limit on how many people can join the group, it looks like Damian Priest's exit is only a matter of time. Number 4, Akira Tozawa is a good fit for Alpha Academy. On paper, Akira Tozawa seemed like an odd addition to the Alpha Academy, but he's quickly become a pleasant distraction for Raw's comedy group. While it's doubtful Tozawa isn't going to go any further than a mid-card, it's great to see him in matches and on segments. His in-ring work is solid, which makes him a good opponent for anyone, even though the match outcomes are rarely in question. Alpha Academy may not be going anywhere as far as titles go, but they become an enjoyable aspect of Raw. Number 5, Indus Sher is back. Indus Sher is back, but what's their game? Although the WWE Universe has seen Jinder Mahal return from the WWE Phantom Zone for a week only to disappear for another year, this sighting of Jinder Mahal, Veer Mahan and Sangha has potential if Triple H can follow through and put them into an entertaining storyline. Their biggest challenge will be getting their time they need to get over and getting booked into a meaningful storyline rather than serving as extras backstage. And Ivar vs Bronson Reed has promise. Ivar and Bronson Reed is a feud with some real promise. Both superstars are great at what they do, playing human wrecking balls. The problem is that the title picture is filled up right now, which means they can either work meaningless matches every week or they can feud with each other. The feud option is preferable, as both wrestlers are worthy of a high-profile program, and more importantly, they should be able to deliver the slobber knocker that fans enjoy seeing. But that was good. What about the bad? Is number 1, Miz's less than convincing win. If the WWE wanted to set up the now babyface Miz as a credible challenger for Gunther by having him beat Ivar, they failed miserably. While it was okay for the Miz to use the ropes for leverage just to show the A-lister recognizes when he needs some added help, helping him win with a distraction by Bronson Reed cheapened the win and had to have fans thinking that if the Miz can't beat Ivar without help, he has no chance against Gunther, who has the same power as Ivar plus much more wrestling ability. Number 2, Ludwig Kaiser's story continues to drag. Now we'll keep things quick and point out that the story of Gunther's discussed with Kaiser should have played to its conclusion months ago. Number 3, DIY duds. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano are back, but so far the WWE hasn't given the fans any reason to get behind them. As much as Triple H appears to think Johnny Wrestling is a major star in the making, the WWE hasn't responded much to him. A large part of the reason is that so far Gargano has been losing far more than he's been winning, and now it looks like Ciampa is being dragged down with him. The bottom line is that while fans love lovable losers, that doesn't seem to be what Trips has planned for DIY, so it's time to either scale back their appearances or give them a meaningful push. And women's title scene reduced to singles matches again. And Chelsea Green and Piper Niven make a surprisingly good tag team, so why are they being competing in so many singles matches when they should be defending the tag titles? Booking Piper and Chelsea into singles matches deprives fans of a chance to see the tag titles defended, and it deprives the women in the singles division of seeing single stars. Now, that was nothing downright ugly, just a basic show that was pretty underwhelming, apart from Drew McIntyre turning heel. Is Triple H and his creative team overwhelmed by the sheer amount of talent that they have, or are they spending too much time focusing on the booking for Survivor Series? Whatever the reason, nothing stood out except Drew's heel turn. What did you guys think of Raw last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. The first story looks at, did Shinsuke Nakamura call out Punk on Raw? On top of today's news is another segment from Raw that has some fans speculating that CM Punk is returning to WWE. Shinsuke cut a videotape promo where he addressed an unknown opponent. This was followed by Michael Cole asking who Shinsuke was referring to. Ringside News is reporting that a tenured member of the WWE creative team contacted them about whether the King of Strong Style was referencing Punk. We were told there is no interest in CM Punk. The rhetorical question was also asked of us. After all the irreparable damage he did to AEW, how can he ever be brought in anywhere? That should settle the question, because after all, if the WWE wanted Punk's return to be a surprise, they'd pass along any information to confirm he's coming back. Yeah, sarcasm mode off. Next up, a big spoiler after Raw went off the air. Now, CM Punk isn't the only big star whose name is being mentioned as showing up at Survivor Series. According to a report from Wrestling News, Drew McIntyre's heel turn led to a response from Cody Rhodes. After Raw went off the air, Cody Rhodes grabbed the microphone and said, "Spoiler alert, Jey Uso and I got friends too." Immediately after Cody said that, the fans at the show started chanting Randy Orton's name. When do you think Randy Orton will return to WWE, and when will he be a babyface? Next up, Cody isn't concerned about The Rock at WrestleMania 40. Now, is The Rock going to wrestle at WrestleMania 40 against Roman Reigns? Whilst it's a possibility based on what we've heard from The Rock, Cody Rhodes isn't worried about it. The American Nightmare recently appeared on Busted Open Radio and addressed The Rock's comments, and he almost wrestled Roman at WrestleMania 39, and that WrestleMania 40 could be the year the WWE Universe finally sees this long-awaited dream match. Rhodes lavished praise on The Rock before making it clear where he stands. No matter what he said, anyone who did ask me, anyone who did confront me on it, I said I'm not flinching, and I feel like if The Rock and I were in the same room, he would expect nothing less from me. If you think it's somebody else, I'm gonna do everything I can make sure to know it's me, and that's the same attitude that The Rock had when he was climbing the ladder. Cody went all in by saying he's willing to stand up to anyone who might be considered for the much coveted WrestleMania 40 match against Roman Reigns. I don't care who it is, if that happens to be The Rock, if that happens to be anyone who comes into this fray, a wonderful superstar like LA Knight, an absolute stellar performer like Sami Zayn, who him and I went toe to toe in a way last year. Line them up and I'm gonna do just everything I can to outrun them, I certainly am. And I meant that with the most utmost respect to them. I wasn't shook at all by The Rock's big day out. What I would say is, not flinching. Cody's obviously determined to fulfill his dream of winning the world title that his famous father wasn't able to secure around his waist. The WWE threw fans a curveball when Cody lost at WrestleMania 39. Since then, Rhodes has had to battle his way back, including a hellacious series against Brock Lesnar. While rumor has it that WWE has Cody vs Roman 2 booked at WrestleMania 40, they've done a good job keeping fans guessing whether Rhodes' dreams will come true or whether he'll suffer a real American nightmare. Next up, The Rock still wants to run for US President. As fans speculate on whether The Rock will wrestle Roman Reigns, there's also the question of whether the Great One will run for US President. The Rock recently addressed that question during a chat with Trevor Noah, thanking everyone for their support, but making it clear he's focused on being a father. I know what that's like to have an occupation that takes me away from being a daddy, and this time around with my 7 and 5-year-old, I want to be a daddy, and that's the most important thing to me. So be around, be there, I want to be around. However, kids grow up and The Rock didn't rule out a future run. I think down the road, for sure. Would you guys vote for The Rock? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, Nikki Bella erased from WWE? And last but not least, is Nikki Bella persona non grata in WWE? Well, Wrestling News' Paul Davis raised an interesting point about Bella's role in the US series Barmageddon, and how she's featured in the program's commercials, which makes sense as she's the show's co-host, but nowhere to be found during the WWE's on-air hype for the show. In commercials that air on USA, Nikki Bella is shown prominently since she is the co-host. However, during the promo copy read by Cole, there was no mention of Nikki in it, and he only mentioned Blake Shelton as the host. Davis knows that Nikki has criticized the WWE since leaving the company, which may be why she's mysteriously absent from the WWE's promotion of the show. But there you have it, folks. I'll look up Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.